Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me on a Sunday afternoon for some more true crimes of Scientology with your host, me, Nora Ames. Okay, guys, we're coming in hot on this one. I just wanted to lay out here because Aaron Smith Levin's trial is moving forward. The next court date, of course, is on January 15th. Okay. And some things have become public on the Pinellas County website. Okay. And I wanted to share those things with you guys and go over, like, I had to look up a lot of this stuff. I'm not a lawyer. Surprisingly, I'm not a lawyer. And I don't even play one on TV, guys. So I wanted to go over the things that I discovered and what I see coming in the future. Now, as we know, I'm not Nostradamus. I don't know everything. But sometimes I see certain writing on the wall. Sometimes I'm absolutely correct about that. And sometimes I'm not. This show, as a reminder, is for entertainment purposes only. And please form your own opinions and do your own research. Okay. So first things first, let's go. Okay. So just for a refresher here, let's start off just at the basic. Nope. This one. Yes. Here we go. Okay. So let's get into it. So this is when you log in, or you don't even have to log in, frankly, to the Pinellas County clerk website. Okay. It's courtrecords.mypinellascountyclerk.gov. Okay. And you do a search and you search for Aaron Smith Levin. Okay. That's how I found it. It's not some secret. Okay. So these are the four things that he has. These are the two cases here that have been combined into one case. Okay. That we're going to be looking at. This was the first offense here that he's accused of from July 30th. And then the second offense, okay, which was on the 23rd. That's the second thing that we're going to be looking at here. So in let's go to this one. Now, one of these documents, I'm going to tell you right now ahead of time, I will not be sharing the actual document publicly. We'll talk about it, okay, because I didn't have time to like download it and black out all the things. So I'm not going to put it on the screen, okay? So these things are new, okay? So this was the notice of request for costs for prosecution. That was just the filing, the basic filing. It cost like $100 to prosecute this case, apparently. So they had to like, you're going to pay us that because we're prosecuting you. Okay. Then we had a couple other things come in. Okay. This one in particular at the top is the juicy piece. Okay. That's the answer to demand for discovery. We will be showing that one. But on the witness list, I'm not going to bring that up on the screen, but we're going to talk about it. There are 5 police officers that are listed on this. Okay. I'm just going to take it off the screen there. So there are 5, and this is the state's witness list. This is not the defense's witness list. That has not been filed or has not been made public yet. Either way. Okay. So next to the officers' names, there are initials, right? So we have Officer Daniel Bieber, Officer Jarrett Busa, Officer Dennis Kaysen, Officer Eliad Glenn, and Officer Marcos Valdez. And then we have a lawyer. I did not know it was a lawyer. And then we have the 2 victims, okay, that will also be testifying, okay, in the alleged victims in these crimes here, okay. So 5 officers, the 2 victims, and yeah. So next to these names, right, the very first officer, Daniel Bieber, has the initials ARO. So I was like, what does that mean? So let's go over this. I also thought 5 was a lot too. So let's go over this here. So the first one that's listed there is ARO. Okay, well, let's share that here because I was like, what the fuck does that mean, right? Okay. So when you have, and we'll make this bigger so you guys can see it. When you have ARO next to a witness, Okay. It most likely refers to an appeals resolution officer. Okay. This term is specifically used in some administrative and tribunal contexts, such as workplace safety and insurance board in Ontario, Canada, where the ARO is the person who decides. Let's go and get more specific here, because we're not in Canada, in Florida. Boom. So in Florida specifically, means Admissibility Review Office. This abbreviation is typically used in the context of federal immigration matters, specifically U.S. Customs and Border. A witness associated with ARO would be a representative from that office, likely providing testimony related to the admissibility of a person into the United States. It can have other meanings in general. After receipt. No, it's not that. I thought it was arresting officer, right? That's in yeah, let's see what Florida law says. Because like this is why you have to like do these different searches. Adverse opposing. Okay, adversary witness. Here we go. Meaning someone listed by a party who is expected to give testimony unfavorable to them, often called a hostile witness, and is typically called by the other side to challenge their statements, though one party might list them to lock them in or get their testimony recorded. It signifies they're expected to be on the other team's side. Okay, so there you go. It could be, so that's the first officer listed on the witness list. That is Officer Bieber. Now, the other officers, okay, have WIR after their name, which I was also like, what is that? Let's Florida law. Okay. So in this one, in Florida law, WIR on a witness list most likely stands for Witness Intimidation Report. This is even worse than the other thing that I read earlier. Or relates to a witness who is part of an intimidation issue, indicating a concern or ongoing issue with someone trying to stop a witness from testifying. Often seen in cases involving organized crime or threats to a witness's safety. But it can also refer to will-related issue. No, that's not it. Okay, it's not probate. Okay. What does okay, let's ask a more specific question. What does it mean if a police officer is designated on a witness list? Let's see what that means. Okay, so the designation WIR for a police officer on a witness list is not standard legal abbreviation found in statutes or court rules. It's likely an internal abbreviation used by a specific law enforcement agency. Witness in reserve, suggesting the officer might be available to testify if needed, but it's not the primary witness. Will interview required? An internal note that the officer needs to be interviewed or is required for a meeting before trial. Will issue report indicating a report is pending or needs to be completed. So it could be one of these things. Like maybe this is just another officer in the pocket. So 4 of them are listed with the WIR designation. So that's a much better wording of that question. Let me try that for the other one too. Because that's, oh my God. We did that already. Oh, you know what, Google? I want to copy. No, I don't want to do any of that. There we go. Jesus Christ on a cracker. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Let me go back to the witness list here. And then the victims are listed as WIV. I want to go back to the ARO one because I think I need to ask that question exactly the same way to make sure we get, because guys, I want the most accurate response. So now it says, okay, see, I was right the first time. It's arresting officer. ARO is the arresting officer. There we go. There we go. Or he's an eyewitness, transporting booking officer, investigating officer. Okay. I was correct. Look at that. All right. So we have an arresting officer, and then we have these officers, a witness in reserve, or because they might have reports they still need to. Right. Thank you, Mad Dropper. Also, Mad Dropper, the package came. I love my hat. I'm going to put it right back there. It's just downstairs. I forgot to bring it up because we just went to Costco and I threw the Costco all in the places. And now I'm here. So I will bring that up there and it will be right there. I'm going to put it up with my other Giants hats. All right. Okay, good. So now we got that one. Right. Let's do this. What does it mean if a victim WIV. Right. And then there was somebody that was designated as WIP. So WIV, here we go, for a witness, is an abbreviation for victim or witness. Okay. So it could mean victim or witness. That makes sense. Okay. And there you go. So that's the victims are listed as that. And then there was one person who was listed. Oh, nope. What's this one? Person. And this other designation for the last person on the witness list here was WIP, right? So I wanted to know what that meant. So we'll share this one and then we will hit go on that so you guys can see. So that is not a standard legal abbreviation. Specific meaning is unclear. The precise meaning of WIP in this context likely an internal office code. Yeah, the other way that I looked at it, it said this person was a lawyer. But maybe they're not. So maybe they're just another type of witness in protection, maybe. And that goes to the other form that was filed publicly, right? Where they also said that they would not be like naming the people in court. That was one of the filings. Let's just go back here so you guys can see all the things. This one here. So the notice of confidential crime victim info within the court filing, right? So that list, basically it says notice of confidential crime victim information pursuant to Florida Rule of General Practice and Judicial Administration 2.423. I hereby certify that I'm filing a document containing confidential crime victim information as described in that rule about one of the victims that's named, which I will not bring up here. They're keeping his address and things, confidential, which is totally fine. That's totally fine. But the document that I want to go over with you guys, that is the big Hazagaza, is this one right here, which is not confidential. Okay. So the county court, Pinellas County. All right. State of Florida. This is the answer to demand for discovery. So Aaron's lawyers put in like, hey, we want to know what you're going to fucking show in court. That's basically what happened. They filed a motion. So the state, and per this state law, this RCRP, it's a requirement for the state attorney to provide all the things they're going to show with this yes-no situation. And then if the defense, right, wants to come and get those things, they have to go to the state attorney's office to go be like, I want this. And then, copies are provided to them, right? Because you can't mount a vigorous defense for your client if you don't have all the info. If you don't know, like court is kind of like, it's not a surprise game. Everybody gets to know what everybody's going to do ahead of time, but it's like, how are you going to present it? They don't know. That's the part they don't know, right? So the names and addresses of all persons known to the prosecutor to have information which may be relevant, okay, to the offense charged and to any defense thereto or to any similar fact evidence to be presented at trial are set forth in the witness list. So those lists of witnesses, which is a total of 8, okay, we're referring to those people and what they can or cannot provide, okay? So the witness list, but asterisk, okay? Let's make this a little bit bigger so you guys can really see it, because it's you know what I'm going to do actually instead? Hang on. Ba-bum. Nope. Hang on. Because when we again, my voice is still going. When we okay, that's what I want. Okay, perfect. Here we go. I think this will show up a little bit better on the screen. Yeah, I apologize that my voice is still very, very squeaky. All right, so this is the document in PDF form, okay? And we will, there we go. Okay, so now you guys can see all the things a bit better, I think, I hope. Yeah. A little bit better. Okay. So we're on point number 3 here, okay? Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to make myself like this so that you guys can see it even better. Let's is that better, worse, same? You guys tell me. Is that better? Same? Okay, fine. Here we go. So, number 3, the witness list is not all inclusive, as there may be further names and addresses contained in witness statements and police report supplied in this answer. So that's like the asterisk part. We might have more people, okay? The following items are indicated in the state's possession or control and are available for your inspection at the state attorney's office upon timely and reasonable notice, okay? If you desire a copy and or photograph, copies will be provided upon signed receipt. The names of confidential informants will not be supplied unless the state intends to use the same witnesses at the trial or unless ordered by the court. Okay? So one of the names in the witness list is blacked out. Okay? And that's fine. So maybe that person will be there, maybe they won't. Okay. Now, this is where we have to pay attention. So number 1, statements given by persons listed in paragraph 1 above. So like the witnesses. Yes, they're going to use that. Number 2, written, recorded, and or oral statements of the accused. That's Aaron. Yes. Written, recorded, and or oral statements of co-defendants. There are no co-defendants, so no. Material or information provided by a confidential informer. No. Okay, so we have no confidential informants, no co-defendants. Tangible papers not obtained from or belonging to the accused, which the state intends to use at hearing or trial. Yes. Tangible papers obtained from or belonging to the accused. Yes. Electronic surveillance of premises of accused or of conversations to which accused was party. Yes. Oh, thank you, James. WIP means information is still coming from the officer. So that's like work in progress kind of a thing. It's like we're waiting for the rest of the data. Thank you. Thank you. Documents relating to search or seizure. Yes. Reports or statements of experts? No. So my mind was a little bit blown here, guys. I'm going to be honest with you when I saw this list of things. Okay, specifically the 3 yeses in the middle there, the 4 yeses actually. Okay, so let's go over that a little bit. tangible papers not obtained from or belonging to the accused, which the state intends to use at hearing or trial. So my questions, here's the questions that come to my mind when I hear that. Okay. So the questions that come to my mind when I hear that is like, this is where the Scientology portion may or may not come in. Are they then going to use like old documents from Aaron's files inside of the Scientology organization? Now, he has files there in Florida, as do I, because I was there for a few months. And so they keep everything. There's records of everything, right? Are they using that? Like, we're going to bring up something that happened when he was 15 as like a ammunition, or are we talking about the files that are located in Los Angeles, which I'm sure they have pony expressed all the way across the coast to cull them and find all of the nitty gritty kind of like juicy tidbits and things like that. That's possible, right? I don't know what other papers it would be unless it has something to do with his businesses, or it has something to do with his, there's a litany of things that could have to do with, right? But the first thing, of course, that popped up in my mind is like, is Scientology supplying them with like confessions from when Aaron was, a teen about, whatever, right? Which would be weird. And I don't know what that would be evidence of. I really don't. Then tangible papers obtained from or belonging to him. So what is that? Like, because also you see here documents relating to search or seizure. So did Aaron have his home searched while he was in jail? Did his properties get searched for things? Like, what does that mean? What search and seizure happened? That's a huge question for me. What do they possibly have that was at his property or something that he's associated with that is now going to be used in court, right? Okay. And then, of course, the two that are also wild, okay, wild to me is B and G, okay? So G is electronic surveillance of premises of accused or conversations to which accused was party. So we know that all of the jailhouse conversations are going to come into play here. They are all recorded. Some of them were broadcast live on YouTube. Some of them were not. Okay. Calculating out what he paid in the minutes. Somebody did the space math for me. I think that was Peter. He averaged 3 hours a day on the phone in the 22 days that he was there for what he paid for phone calls. I'm sure some days was far more than others. But yeah, here's the questions, guys. This is not a statement of fact. These are the questions that comes to my mind. Has his home or homes been under surveillance? And by whom? Right? And what is that going to show? Right? Like, what is going on there that's so fucking interesting that they're like putting a team on it to surveil it? First of all, I have no idea. Second of all, we know the conversations to which he was party, absolutely, that will come into play will be the jailhouse conversations, right? Unless they have some sort of wiretap, that's a whole other thing that hasn't been presented, and I don't know if that just gets presented in court or what. 22 days, Claudia, he was in jail, 22 days. Okay. And then the written and or oral statements of the accused. Obviously, that's going to be the YouTube, right? That is obvious. Okay. That will be the entire contents of his YouTube, which, as you guys can see, and when if you go to this, I gotta, here we go. Right. So on this Rumble is where the edited down version of like the chalk incident is, that contains all of the parts that show his planning, his statements about what was going on, and and his reaction to the police arriving, as well as the aftermath. Okay, this is the video that he did immediately the next day after being released. Okay, because when he was first arrested, he wasn't just put in jail; he was just bailed out. First by Farrell Sherrill, and then now he has another bond that he's out on. Or actually, he was released. I'm sorry. That bond was refunded to Sherrill, and he's released on supervised ROR, which means he has like a weekly check-in to do that. So, yeah, and video could also be the body cams, correct, Rox? Could also be the body cam footage from the Scientologists themselves, and of course, all of their, bajillion cameras that they have hidden all over Clearwater. Okay, because let's face it, as I showed you guys when I went to go protest in Los Angeles at Celebrity Center, they have cameras on their property that are not pointed toward the sidewalk on their property. They are pointed directly across the street at La Poubelle. Okay? They're not pointed at Scientology property. La Poubelle is not a Scientology-owned property, right? But Scientology has cameras on every building they own. Cameras, plural, okay? On every building they own all throughout Clearwater and Florida. Okay. So we're talking thousands of cameras. Thousands of cameras. Okay. We're going to get the body cam footage, I'm sure, from the cops. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure Scientology has turned over hours of footage that, they are more than happy to hand that right over. Absolutely. Absolutely. So no one is surveilling his home, not for protesting and throwing cornstarch. Well, here's the deal on that. Sorry, guys, I had a poppy seed bagel. I said a poppy seed come out. I hope not. But as we know, Aaron encountered, that's his favorite word when talking about the cornstarch, that he encountered a cloud of cornstarch. Aaron encountered the Sea Org members, specifically the female Sea Org members who were, the fake Space Navy ladies that were on his street after the hurricane swept through, probably just looking to do a photo shoot for disaster shit to make them look like they're helping. And he ran after them down the street. So that, he lives, obviously in close proximity to where they are. And that's normal. I mean, when he was a Scientologist still, that was normal for you to like move there and be close because you don't want to have to like, pay for parking and shit. No, you cannot pick your nose without Scientology seeing it. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, I'm just, guys, I am reading to you. So sorry. I'm reading to you the public record here of what they intend to use in court. Okay. Not what I'm saying they're doing or not doing or whatever. I'm just telling you, this is what they are intending to use in court. Okay. They are saying there's surveillance, right? So that could just be, honestly, that could just be what Scientology does on their properties. And Aaron is there so much that that's what he's doing, But guys, the thing about it is that Aaron's YouTube, and there's many more videos for me to edit down and many more things for me to do, because what we're talking about right now is someone who is displaying an extreme amount of, Darvo narcissistic behavior. And the person is recording themselves saying and doing these things. This is not my, I'm not diagnosing anybody. I'm certainly not qualified to do so. I'm not attempting to do so. But when you look at the definition of narcissism and you look at the behavior that is there, it is very easy to see that that's what's occurring. Now, I'm searching my TikTok right now because there is something I reposted where there is a psychologist, okay, talking about specifically Donald Trump's behavior, okay, and what the diagnosis for someone who behaves the way that President Trump behaves, what that means. And I was struck watching this breakdown because the behavior between, like, and I'm talking specifically, I'm talking about um, uh, the glee and the absolute joy that is taken by the president in this breakdown of bad acts that they have done, right? And that was frightening. That was frightening because I was like, that's the same thing that we see um, in Aaron occasionally, right? Is that we see that this joy that comes to him when he is not being nice, right? When he is, in fact, being cruel or, reckless with people and their safety. And it was like, wow, it's so similar that I couldn't not think that. And I don't, that's my personal thoughts about it. Again, I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist. I was taking the word of a psychologist, which I'm looking for because, guys, I like way too many things on TikTok. It's in my liked and like reposted. So like it's like re-scrolling TikTok to look for this. And then sometimes, guys, honestly, TikTok does not always keep, like, I like something and they don't keep it. So it's wild to me. Let's see here. Ah. Bum, 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 bum. Let's see if I can find the guy here. Do. Somebody probably took the video down already because anytime, anybody says anything about, Velveeta, Voldemort, then it is taken down. But now I'm not even like seeing the guy, but I'll find it eventually at some point. But again, guys, this is what is striking me. I do got to start bookmarking them. You're right. You're right. I need to. I look at them on my phone, right? And I can't. Yeah. And then I can't see my favorites on my phone, but I can see them on the computer. Like, none of these things make sense. Like, you know what? Can we just like literally make this easier for the people? The actual people who use these apps? It would be wonderful for it to be more searchable at a, at a basic level for people like me. Yeah, they have been censoring a lot of political content. That is very, very, very true. I'll find it here in a second. Also, my feed is filled with either that or the professional women's hockey league, which I'm very excited that we're having, more and more and more of that, more professional women's sports coming out. And I'm going to be trying to cover that more on my other channel for sure, for sure. Ba-bum. So many things. And then I can't tell which day I liked something or not. It's just silly. I gotta make sure I favorite things in a better fashion so that I don't lose them like this. Because that's embarrassing. Maybe it was on another platform. Maybe it was on YouTube. Oh, my goodness. Let's see here. Because now that, like when you're scrolling on YouTube sometimes and like a short comes up and then it's like longer than a short, but it's in the vertical, it's like I get, I kind of like can't tell the difference anymore between the social media apps, to be honest. But what's wild, guys, though, let's be honest, is what are they going to be using? What are they going to be using in court? Where is it coming from? And who's providing it? These are all. Oh, hi, Charlie. Hi, dogs. Come on in. Thank you. Sorry, babe. It's fine. Just go ahead and shut it. I'll let them out. Okay, bye. Just kidding. The dogs just had to come in and find me. And then now they're gone. There you go. Here it is. I found it. Okay. So it was in YouTube, but I think actually I saw this also on TikTok. So, but either way, I found it. There we go. Bump. Here we go. Let's listen to this. Let me put up my copyright, Dilly Bob. I like we do. I need a big headscarf, big neon earrings, and a string of pearls, and a family of bangles. I don't know if that's my style. I don't know. That, I don't know. Okay, guys. So as you know, under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. All right. So this is Dr. John Gartner. Let's listen to what he says.
Hell of a lot of trouble. Us, America, but the world is in a hell of a lot of trouble because the most powerful man in the world is both evil and demented.
That's kind of a big deal. Being evil and demented at the same time. That's kind of that's a bad combo.
Has the most severe personality disorder actually that a human being can have. It's called malignant narcissism.
Malignant narcissism. Let's hear what that is.
It was originally introduced by Erich Fromm, who escaped the Nazis, to explain the psychology of Hitler.
Okay, so that's kind of a big deal.
And other murderous dictators like him. It's actually not in the DSM. It's kind of a historically obscure diagnosis.
They just put narcissistic personality disorder in the new DSM. Okay, so the fact that malignant narcissism is not in there is not a shock because as you're hearing here, it's a very, very, very rare diagnosis. Okay,
but I happen to have studied with the person who was the world expert on malignant narcissism. And so early on, when Trump was running for president in 2015, I recognized that this was essentially a meteor heading towards Earth.
Oh,
because I knew just how destructive a malignant narcissistic leader can be to a country. And I saw it as potentially fatal.
It could be fatal. Hey, Stephanie with a PH. Welcome back
to our country. And unfortunately, that seems to be potentially coming true. It has 4 components: narcissism.
Okay, so let's listen to the 4 components. The first one's narcissism.
Of course, but also psychopathy.
Psychopathy.
Or what we call antisocial personality.
Antisocial personality traits.
Disorder. So lying, breaking laws and norms, having no remorse for violating the rights of others.
We have seen, and I will show you in the next video, Aaron display that while he's watching himself do the thing. We'll cut to that here in a second.
Also paranoia, and finally sadism.
None of those are good things.
A lot of what he does is gleefully destructive and
gleefully destructive.
Harmful. And it actually gives him enormous pleasure to hurt people and to destroy things. Yeah.
So let's go here. Okay. We're going to go to this one. This is the day after he was arrested. Okay. The day after he was arrested, he decided to craft a narrative. Okay.
Americans count on us
we are
to keep
gonna,
everything running.
how do I make this? Oh, no. I don't want to click on that.
Here we increased U.S. production nearly 20%.
Blah, blah, Chevron. Skip it.
Join ICE with bonuses.
Guys, join ICE.
And generous benefits.
$50,000 sign-on bonus. Do you need a job?
Was apparently touched or struck by a cloud.
Okay. So this is, let's go over this here. No, stop it. God. Rumble, I have a love-hate relationship with you. Okay. All right, here we go. So on July 30th, Aaron Smith Levin, after being arrested the day before, goes over in detail the arrest report and the victim. What follows is an edited down version of Aaron Smith Levin's stream. The only enhancements are zooming in and slowing it down. All actions and words, of course, are Aaron Smith Levin's. Okay. Yeah, it's true. People do tend to delete posts.
Okay. Here's the actual, they give you your little charge sheet. And
okay, so here's the charge sheet for, we're gonna flip me and Aaron here. We'll make Aaron bigger. There we go. Okay, so this is, and again, this is available online in the court records. Okay, so he reads this out. The important part is what he thinks of the things that it was listed that he said. Okay.
And I'll just read some of this to you guys. Simple battery, misdemeanor. So here's how
he keeps saying misdemeanor. It's misdemeanor.
Police officer wrote this up at 6:02 p.m. at 215 South Fort Harrison Avenue in Pinellas.
Yeah, that's we all know the address of where you go protest.
County. Did then and there actually and intentionally touch or strike John Gaffney?
There's a little fun thing here to count all the John Gaffneys. And that is the guy that gets the chalk on him. And that's apparently John Gaffney.
Against the will of John Gaffney and did not cause bodily harm. Apparently, John Gaffney was apparently touched or struck by a cloud of cornstarch powder that are used for children's fun runs. Okay.
So the point of this video is to show this is the same narrative, okay, that all of his followers, his adherents, okay, the people in the cult of A.A. Ron Hubbard repeat constantly, even though they watch that video of him clearly shake in directly onto John Gaffney. It's just he encountered it, all the things here. Okay.
Above date and time, the defendant, I guess that's me,
that is
was
you.
engaged in a protest at the Church of Scientology. The defendant was with a small group who were writing chalk on a public sidewalk in protest against Scientology. At some point, the victim, John Gaffney, a member of the Church of Scientology, the victim exited
now this
the
is also, I want
above-mentioned
to point out,
location with a bucket of
him saying this name is prior to the protection order being issued. Look at these fucking ads on Rumble. I don't need dream singles. I'm happily married. Thank you. Okay.
water in an attempt to clean the chalk from the sidewalk. The defendant, that would be me, then approached the victim, John Gaffney, and threw blue powdered chalk at the victim, covering his face and torso. See, here's the problem.
Here you go.
I don't know about you, but that looks like that cloud goes over his whole body. No, I don't.
This is a misstatement. John Gaffney had his back turned to me completely when said cornstarch made its way in his general direction.
Here you go.
It couldn't
It made his way in his general direction.
possibly have covered his face and torso. In fact, you will see in the video that I show you a spot that you can see where the cloud, the densest part of the cloud, contacted his shirt was the back of
It wasn't a cloud that contacted his shirt. It was a fuck ton of cornstarch. Okay, now that I can get down with. We could, Starfleet command. Thank you. It was not does a cloud leave a mark on you? Does a cloud? Come on.
of his shirt just above his waist. So this is an inaccurate statement. Oh, and by the way, I'm pleading not guilty. I haven't pled yet. I'm sure they have. I don't even know when my court date is. They haven't given me a court date.
Right. This is the day after. So that stuff hasn't been established yet.
I'll absolutely be pleading not guilty. I'll be fighting this all the way. Covering the victim's face and torso. Total false statement.
Yeah, totally wasn't covering him at all.
Causing the victim to be transported to the hospital for medical care.
Guys, look at that. This is the president of a foundation that purports itself to be there for victims, to empower people. This is the face. This is the face of empathy here. Look at it. That's the president of the SPTV Foundation, who cannot ever take responsibility for any action that they do. And that's what they think about people. Yeah.
Respiratory distress. You guys will see.
Look how fast he's done being upset. I mean, we know that was all fake, but look at that.
In the video that John Gaffney is wearing a mask.
Guys, he's wearing the cheapest mass-produced mask that we all know, having gone through this in COVID, protects you from absolutely nothing.
Covering his nose and face during the entire interaction.
Thank you. Thank you, Gen X. I have been to fun runs, and they shoot the powder in the air, not in your face. Exactly. Thank you, Mad Dropper.
You will see that he is faced away from me for the entire interaction.
Here you go.
The defendant, that would be me, is an outspoken critic. This is still the police report here.
Yeah.
Is an outspoken critic of the Church of Scientology and knew the victim was a member of the federally recognized religious entity. Okay, so it says at the bottom here.
Now, guys, the fact that he's mocking that Scientology is right now, this police report is kind of accurate, kind of inaccurate, but let's face it. Yes, was Aaron going up to that person, okay, to interact with them because they're a Scientologist and because they're a member of the fake Space Navy and because they're probably a security officer, okay, in the fake Space Navy of Scientology? Yes. Now, look what happened, and this is on this report that he talks about.
Aggravating and mitigating factors, and it says force, hate crime, enhancement.
Look at him laugh about that. This is him finding out he's charged with a literal hate crime, and that's amusing.
So Scientology is trying to say this was a hate crime.
No, here's I want to say something very, very important, guys, okay? Regardless of my personal opinions about Scientology, well, it's not my personal opinion. The fact that Scientology does not include a religious experience of any kind, okay, and that it is a cult, it is a mind, body, soul destroying organization that is a multi-level marketing, human trafficking, fucking sex offending, protecting scam, okay? Those are all facts. What we have to battle is what's legal and what's within the law. Okay? Inside the law, Scientology is a federally protected entity because it is a religious entity, right? It is a federally recognized religious entity by the IRS. Once you have achieved that status, you are a religion, regardless of the factualness of that or not, right? If the government of the United States says, this is a religion, then you have the rights, the tax codes, etc., of a religion. And if anyone comes along and does something to a member of that religion, especially an ecclesiastical member of the religion, because they are a former member or they just don't like it or whatever, and causes bodily harm, right, or permanent physical damage to the property, that is automatically classified as a hate crime. That's just how the law works. Now, should it be classified as a hate? Blah, 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 blah. That's all of our opinion at this point, right? Whether our opinion is actual facts, until we can prove in a court of law and prove to the federal government, hey, guess what? Scientology is not a religion. There is no religious experience in Scientology. There is no religious benefit. They are not giving back to the community. All the things that we know. Okay. Until that point, all these actions like Scott, like Aaron, toward Scientology will always be classified as a hate crime. That's why when I was saying earlier last year, hey, when you go out protesting, you've got to operate within the law. You've got to operate, as if you're protesting outside of a synagogue or you're protesting outside of a Catholic church, right? You cannot conduct yourself in a way, physically or otherwise, that's going to catch you a charge. Because A, it's not productive, and B, it's only going to serve Scientology's purposes to make it seem like, look at us. Oh, people are just attacking us. We're victims. We're the victim. Oh, and all this shit, which we know is bullshit. Okay. They are the aggressor. They are the criminal. Okay. But when we have things like this, especially, right, from someone like Aaron Smith-Levin, who has the largest YouTube channel out of all people who are former Scientologists, who's the head of a foundation that purports itself to be something as a beacon of hope for people stuck inside the cult to come out to, and conducts himself this way in public in front of the largest, enclave of Scientologists on planet Earth. That is not helpful in any way, shape, or form. It's not helpful to him, obviously. He's, he went to jail for 22 days and he's on trial. His next trial date is January 15th. So that's coming up in like 18 days, right? 29th, 30, 31st. Yep. 18 days. I did the math right in my head. Look at that. So it's just, we really have to think these things through. Okay. We really have to think these things through. There was an Aftermath fundraiser today. I did not know about that. No. Where was that, Eric? Put it in the chat and I'll look at that later. Okay. So what is important to know. Okay. And this, I promise you, all of these same clips are going to be shown by the prosecution. I am not doing Scientology's job. I am trying to point out to the people at large here, okay, the people who are continuing to, support Aaron. I need you guys to understand that this isn't about, I'm on Team Nora, I'm on Team Aaron. I don't give a fuck about your team, okay? This is not sports, okay? We're not doing that. The facts of the matter are that man, I'll bring him back up here, Aaron Smith-Levin, is dangerous. He is a dangerous person to the community at large, okay, and to the protest, any form of protest movement in regards to Scientology or anything else. This person is not a productive member, okay, of a protest. They are not helpful. They're not a helpful engine, okay? This was first filmed on July 30th, the literal day, or are we talking about the other thing? Got to watch the Tyler video with Aaron on it. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that in a separate video. Because it's very telling also. And I'll give you a preview. The two most telling things about that video, okay? Because I looked it up, guys. How many times on Aaron's channel, would you guess? Let's do a quick survey here. How many times or how many clips do you think would be available with the word Shelly in it? Shelly Miscavige. How many clips? How many clips out of all of the content that Aaron's ever made? How many clips do you guys think have Shelly Miscavige as the topic? Anyone? Any guesses? No guesses? Oh, yeah. While we're waiting for the answers to come in, I will give you guys 8. Okay, half a dozen, too many. These are the new sounds on my soundboard. You guys ready? Here we go. Let's do this.
What you talking about, Willis?
I got that one. We got that one.
That makes me a very sad panda.
Got that one. And
Hot dog!
okay, so the closest one so far is the Artful Colorist 8008 Dylan. 242 clips where he mentions 240 clips where he mentioned Shelly Miscavige. Now, would it shock you to know that in the beginning he was aligned with Leah Remini and Mike Rinder in the Where's Shelly quest? And then slowly in 2023 into 2024, he was like, nobody cares where fucking Shelly is, right? And then after they do a whole thing fucking running down Leah and Mike for ever having asked that stupid question. When I say they, I mean Jenna and Aaron in a video that they did together on Aaron's channel. We need a quote from Heather's. Yes, I need to put that in there. Maybe I'll do that instead of your part of it. I don't know. We'll move something around. I only have 4 buttons. Yeah, yeah, that is a great quote. That they do this video with that guy Tyler to go find her. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Holy shit. And the fact that after he and Jenna broke up, that he's still trying to fucking ride her ovaries to stardom is a bridge too far for me. Okay. But we're going to do that in a whole other video because, yeah, that's a juicy thing. Let's get back to this nonsense.
And here's where I chuckle a little bit. The police officer, maybe it was just a typo. Maybe he doesn't know the difference between aggravating and mitigating. But the police report here says the hate crime is a mitigating factor.
Okay.
Say aggregating.
So aggravating. He doesn't even aggregating and aggravating are not the same motherfucking thing, Aaron. Okay. So aggravating and mitigating factors are key legal terms for sentencing, where aggravating factors like prior offenses, cruelty, or leadership role make a crime worse, warranting a harsher penalty, while mitigating factors like remorse, mental illness, a minor role, or no record lessen culpability and lead to a lighter sentence, with judges balancing these to reach a just punishment. Okay. So aggravating factors can be prior criminal history, victim vulnerability, method of crime, role in offense, motive. Mitigating factors can be remorse and cooperation. He was very cooperative. Background, lack of criminal record, mental, physical disability, or past abuse. Role in offense, minor participant or acted under duress or provocation. Post-offense conduct, good behavior after arrest or showing genuine remorse. I don't think there was any remorse. They were nowhere near the vault. Tyler was next to the dining hall. I love you, Dylan. We should go over that together so we can break it down on like where they actually were. Okay. So let's just rewind this a little bit because this is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard.
Say this was a hate crime. And here's where I chuckle a little bit. The police officer, maybe it was just a typo. Maybe he doesn't know the difference between aggravating and mitigating. But the police report here says The hate crime is a mitigating factor. I should say aggravating factor. Based on the defendant's actions before, during, and after the battery by intentionally targeting the victim, specifically because of the victim's affiliation with a federally recognized religious entity. Again, this is part of why Scientology is so screwed. Okay.
Yeah, there's no we here, white man. It was you. Jamie was there with you, and fucking Farrell Cheryl. You. But then this is the last time that he says I in this entire almost 2-hour video that's been edited down to 33 minutes. Okay.
Did not target anyone. They are the ones targeting the protesters for harassment. What you're going to see in a video is
it's like the
John
4 times.
Gaffney simply happened to be the only Sea Org member who came out, who went out of his way to walk as close to me as possible.
Listen to that very key phrase. He was the only Sea Org member that went out of his way to walk as close to me as possible. I'm sorry. And that video replays multiple times. Who did the walking towards whom? Who did the walking towards whom? Okay. Who did that? Aaron did the walking towards John Gaffney. John Gaffney was trying to pour the water onto that one phrase that was written about, the cult, blah, 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 blah. Okay. No, it should have been aggravating. He's right, but I don't think he understands the difference. Also, if the officer put mitigating in, he was trying to help him out. I think just like a psychological thing. What's up, Liz Gale?
While I was standing on land I had permission to be on.
Actually, you were over the property line because you drew the property line.
So I didn't target him. It actually seems that he sought me out.
And this is what his followers repeat constantly, even though he walked directly towards that man.
And it's not accurate to say, if you want to say, here you go, I targeted him with the
Do you see that? He walked right up to him.
I didn't target him because he was a Scientologist.
Oh.
I targeted him because he was harassing us protesters.
So this is just a full admission of guilt here. Just a full admission of him actually targeting him. Why would you say that out loud? If you're innocent and this was an accident or whatever the fuck, why would you say I targeted him? Why would that come out of your mouth? That's just fucking stupid.
He could have been a hired non-Scientologist for all I care. So you see what I'm saying? It's not logically consistent.
Because he would have done it to that person too. That's what he's saying.
That he was targeted.
Walks right up to him.
He's a member of that religion.
That person was walking. The guy was literally walking away, guys.
Ended up in that interaction with me because he was harassing protesters and happened to be the closest person, the person who came.
Whoopsie-doodles. Let's watch that again.
As close to me as possible while I was standing on land I had permission to be on. So I didn't target him. It actually seems that he sought me out.
No, that absolutely is not what happened.
It's not accurate to say, if you want to say, here you go, I targeted him with the dust. I didn't target him because he was a Scientologist. I targeted him because he was harassing us.
I targeted him.
He could have been a hired non-Scientologist for all I care. So you see what I'm saying? It's not logically consistent that he was targeted because he's a member of that religion. He ended up in that interaction with me because he was harassing protesters and happened to be the closest person, the person who came within arm's reach of me, to be perfectly
happened to be the closest person.
This police report indicates the hate crime enhancement, but also maintains that it's a misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor.
What does the hate crime enhancement mean in the context of this misdemeanor simple battery charge?
It's misdemeanor. Let's look at that. That's actually a law I didn't pull up here. What does a hate? Let's share this here so you guys can see what I'm doing. What does a hate crime enhancement, Nora, on a first-degree battery in Florida mean? Okay, so the hate crime enhancement on first-degree battery. Oh, sorry, I have to put First-degree battery misdemeanor. I'm probably spelling that. Oh, I spelled it right. Look at me. I am not the best speller. Okay. In Florida, hate crime enhancement on a first-degree misdemeanor battery means the crimes gets bumped up to a third-degree felony, making penalties much harsher, more jail time and fines, because it was motivated by bias against the victim's race, religion. In this case, we're going to go with religion. Okay. Sexual orientation, etc. under this statute. Okay. Let's open that up. Increasing the severity from a potential year in jail to up to 5 years in prison and higher fines. 5 years in prison. He has 2 of these guys. 2. Both with the hate crime enhancement on it. 2. That's a potential of up to 10 years. 10 years. A first-degree misdemeanor, like simple battery, gets reclassified to a third-degree felony. So remember when the officer said, we're arresting you for a felony, and Aaron's soul left his body? That's what the officer was talking about. Because even though he's only charged with a misdemeanor, it is bumped up because of the hate crime enhancement. Whether you and I or anybody else out here thinks the Scientology is a piece of shit, which I do, okay, I'll go on the record, Scientology should be illegal, okay? That doesn't matter. Because right now, where we exist in reality, Scientology is a federally protected organization under law. Okay? And doing shit like this is only going to solidify their righteousness within the law. Okay? The act must show prejudice based on the victim's religion. Okay? If someone punches another person battery and did it because they hate that person's, religion, the prosecutor can charge it as a felony instead of just a misdemeanor, leading to a much more serious conviction and punishment. So, this is the part where he is laughing about this and mocking the arresting officer, and he thinks that's going to help his case. That's going to help his case. Okay? Let's get back to this here.
Okay, so this is it. I mean, this is the report. I don't have a court date. I'll just be going with a public defender on this. I'm not interested in hiring.
The very next day, he did a stream where he backtracked that statement and said, hey guys, yesterday I said I was going with a public defender. Actually, I'm hiring a lawyer. Okay. And he tried to do the really big GoFundMe for the super duper expensive lawyer, and then ended up only getting enough to retain the first lawyer. I don't know where the money for the other lawyer is coming from. But with every charge, with every filing, all of these things, every day of trial, that is more thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, guys. Every hour that a lawyer works on his defense, we're talking $350 to $750, sometimes $1,000 an hour. I don't know if it's a bench or jury trial. It just says trial date. So I'll look back at that, actually. Let's look back at that. So here it just says, let's look at that. So it just says pre-trial. It doesn't say if it's a jury or pre-trial hearing set. Yeah, it doesn't say. It's not indicated. It's just that's the next. It's on the 15th at 8:30. It's a pre-trial. So I don't know. Yo no sé.
An attorney. I feel like if a public defender can't do this, then it's not meant to be done.
I feel like if a public defender can't do this, then it's not meant to be done. Okay.
Truth is, when it came time to actually create my little dust cloud.
This is again, this is very culty. This is very much what cult leaders do when they are indoctrinating their people. They will do hand motions as a distraction, and they will repeat phrases over and over and over. Create my little dust cloud. Create my little dust cloud. Watch how many times he does this.
Which is what I was trying to do. I was not actually trying to dump it on him. I remember being very surprised. Color blaze, holly colored powder for fun runs, color toss, Rangoli.
Last purchase, July 15th. Like literally 14 days, 2 weeks before the incident.
Powder war.
And up until recently, this was still on his Amazon wish list. I don't know if it's still there or not, if his Amazon wish list is even active. But this was still on his Amazon wish list.
Backyard party and festivals. In other words, this shit is meant to be thrown at people. That's how it's used recreationally. It's used in these.
This shit is meant to be thrown at people. This shit is meant to be thrown at people. Who says that when they are literally defending themselves from the accusation of having thrown it, but they want you to believe they were creating a cloud and that person just encountered a cloud? Who does that?
Color runs where you're literally throwing the powder at runners. I've seen people making arguments about how cornstarch can hurt people.
You see his face there? I see people making arguments about how cornstarch can flare up people with asthma. Like, fuck those guys. Fuck your asthma. Fuck the people who literally have inhalers everywhere in their house like me. Fuck you. Too bad.
It's like,
yeah, party
if you guys
atmosphere.
think that guy has asthma, I got a bridge to sell you. That guy does not have asthma. Yeah.
Who does that? You don't fucking know if that guy has asthma. You know why he says that guy doesn't have asthma? Because if you have asthma, right, you couldn't be in security. Okay, you couldn't exist in that position inside of the fake space Navy, because it would mean that because your body doesn't fully function, right, there's something wrong with you on the spiritual level. But you cannot grotesquely, and this is another point here. Remember we watched the video about the malignant narcissist? How much glee and joy is he getting? We haven't even watched him watch the video yet, guys. We haven't even watched him watch the video yet. This is how much glee and joy he's getting just from talking about the guy supposedly having asthma or not.
It's literally meant to throw at people while they're running. Scientology seems to have been told by the police that as long as they
a lot of the editing guys was editing out
dumping the water towards us.
Now watch the water dump here. Please watch.
But they're dumping the water on their side of the property line. It's okay. I presume the police have told them it's okay, because if not, I don't think Scientology would keep doing it.
We've brought up, it's going to come up here on the screen. For some reason,
that's okay, which I don't think it is. I think it's absolutely illegal. I think it's criminal mischief.
Okay. So this is, here's where Aaron's going to lay down the repetitive commands for his cult following to repeat at any time that someone asks what happened during the chalk incident. Okay. We now have the repeated can of criminal mischief, which is coming up. First, we have the cloud. Now we have criminal mischief. We have encountered. Okay. You know, in Scientology, we did count the gallons in the other video. Okay. It's less than 300 gallons total that was poured.
Intent is everything.
Okay. So this is an important point here. Intent is everything. That's a good point, Aaron. And I'm sure you're going to be asked what your intent was, and that will be interesting to find out your answer in court. So in Florida, criminal mischief, okay, Florida statute 806.13 involves willfully and maliciously damaging or defacing someone else's property, like vandalism or graffiti, like with spray paint, okay, with penalties escalating from misdemeanors to felonies based on the damage amount, from under $200, which is a second-degree misdemeanor, okay, to over $1,000, which bumps you right up to a felony, requiring malicious intent beyond simple accidents. Okay. So willfully and maliciously injuring or damaging another's real or personal property, including graffiti or vandalism. Okay. Intent requires malicious intent. Accidental damage does not qualify as criminal mischief. Spray painting a car is an example. Damaging school property. Okay. Breaking a window, trashing a room. Okay. Those are examples. Okay. Now, he's trying to say that Scientology coming out of their own building to pour water on their private property and on the public property that has words on it that are offensive to them is criminal mischief. When the act of putting the chalk on doesn't damage the property, and the act of putting the water on the physical ground does not damage it. It does erase the chalk, which is not their property. It's temporary art, right? Or whatever you want to call it. So they intend to erase words that are offensive to them. Where's the criminality or the mischief in that? I'm asking you guys. Where's the criminality or mischief in that? Okay.
They're only pouring water down the front stairs of their building to interfere with our protected activity that we're engaging in.
The protected activities of the Constitution go both ways, Aaron. Okay? Yes, we all have the right to go protest. That's in the Constitution. We have the right to protest. We have the right to peacefully assemble. Okay? We have the right to free speech. Scientology, as a federally protected religion, also has the right to remove the word cult from their property or the adjacent public property. They have that right, even during a protest, to do that. Okay? Because free speech goes both ways. That religion has the right to be like, go fuck yourself. We're not a cult, okay? Even if they are. And we have the right to say, you're a cult. It's just not your right, and then they have to take it. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. Exactly, Jess, for now. But that's why, guys, when I emphasize to you the work that Audit's doing, the work that Apostate Alex is doing, the work that other people are doing when they call in and they're trying to make these inroads into the government spaces, into, these places, that is how it's going to get done. People writing cult everywhere near Scientology's property, on the public property, it's not going to do it. And the president of a foundation that claims that they want to help people escape that cult is not showing them an example of what they're going to be greeted with when they come on the outside. They are only being shown everything I'm being told here is correct because those people are crazy.
On public property. It's criminal mischief to intentionally destroy the artwork that we are doing on public property just because they don't like it. They can destroy it after we leave.
See, look at that. They can destroy it when it's convenient for me and I'm done filming, okay? It is not okay for them to destroy it while I'm doing it. Like, that's not how free speech works. It's not when you want it, okay? Free speech occurs all the time.
But for them to destroy it while we're in the...
Okay, so I just want to bring up this part here. So throwing water, okay, and this was something I looked up here, okay? So throwing water on water-soluble chalk art on a public sidewalk during a protest is unlikely to result in a successful criminal mischief or vandalism charge in Florida, as the legal standard for those charges generally requires actual damage or defacement of property with some degree of permanence. Since water removes the chalk and does not cause permanent damage, the act would most likely not meet the criteria for a crime. Okay, Florida statute for criminal mischief, the standard, okay, as willfully and maliciously injuring or damaging any real or personal property. Now, if the Scientologist walked right up, like let's say Feral Cheryl dropped her purse, okay, with, her toiletries and whatever, her stuff, okay, just her stuff in it. And instead of pouring the water onto the ground, okay, they walked right up to Feral Cheryl's purse and dumped a bucket of water inside her purse. That's criminal mischief. Now, if Feral Cheryl has placed her purse on public property on the ground and they pour water onto the ground, and that water, after many, feet, then touches Feral Cheryl's purse, still not criminal mischief because she's responsible for her property in that moment. In the same way, if the sewer overflowed and it got on her purse, it's still her responsibility, right? To make go. Good night, Jojo. Thank you for being here. It's still her responsibility to pick the purse up. Like when you're at the beach and you're just standing there and like a really bigger wave comes in and you're like, fuck, I still have my shoes on. If you stand there and the wave comes all over your shoes and your fucking socks and your pants, whose fault is that? Are we like, the ocean sucks? Fuck the ocean. I'm suing. That's criminal mischief from the ocean, right? Like, no, you are a person with autonomy over where your body and your shit is. Move your body. Move your shit. Okay? So this idea that we're going to charge the fake Space Navy indentured servants with criminal mischief for trying to make a more pleasant, SP-free experience for their patrons, right? For their, fucking donors. It's like, come on, let's be real. I don't have any more court dates with ZDT. I did a whole video on that. It's on go look at it. It's on the channel. There is no more court. It was dismissed. Mine was dismissed and Tony's was dismissed because I couldn't serve him because he was in a mental institution. They won't tell you when he's there or not. And yeah. So there you go. Yeah, the ocean sucks. Okay.
Middle of creating it is, in my opinion, criminal mischief.
Oh, now it's his opinion.
And we will be filing police reports every time that they do it.
There's nothing the police can do. It's not illegal. It's not illegal. Oh my God, that's the greatest. You know what's sad, guys, is I take all these like screenshots of Aaron and they all almost look exactly the same because he's always in this, dusty, crusty, black button down.
Okay, we're going to make a big deal about this because we no longer can afford not to. A few generous viewers have donated these water-activated water barriers.
Few generous
donators. And the
donators.
purpose of that is to prevent them from being able to ruin our art by simply dumping water down the front stairs of their building. With these water barriers.
It's not ruining it. It's temporary. It's not a permanent MoMA art installation, right? It's temporary.
Barriers. They will have to come onto public property, step over our water barrier.
Attention law enforcement. You took an oath to protect.
You took an oath to protect and serve. Now you can come be part of Homeland Security.
And dump the water right where we are.
Look at him.
In order to ruin our property. And I wanted to see if they would do it. And they did. Boom. He's on public property right there. Not their property. But he didn't actually step over our barrier.
This is literally, he's on public property, guys. He's on public property. They have the right to maintain the public property adjacent to their private property in Florida. Washing away hateful speech, in their opinion, off of the sidewalks surrounding their property is part of them protecting their religion. Let's be real.
But the next attack they do.
So they walked over their property line and dumped the water on our art. There you are.
I did not go on their stairs. The police told me I'm fine as long as I don't go on their stairs.
There's your cult members.
I didn't go on their stairs, so I'm okay as long as I don't go on the What? Then why draw the big fucking line to be like, this is public property, this is private property? Like, you're still on their property at this point. And what cop told you that? First of all, is that verified? Has anybody been able to verify that statement? That he's allowed to go onto their property as long as he doesn't touch the stairs? Where's that? Is that in writing? Is that a new law just for you? Also, I don't believe that Aaron has been officially trespassed off of Scientology property. I don't know.
Here's your cult members. There they go. There they are. Get in there.
Mhm.
Get in there. Okay, good.
Okay, good.
So my
You say that all the time when you're in the fake space Navy. The okay, good shit.
response to that was, okay, for the first time, they actually came on a public property to dump their stuff over our barriers.
So this was his
Let's move the
experiment
barriers even
this day,
further
guys.
away from them.
He's going to explain to you the chalk
And that's
incident
exactly what I do. And I want to
Okay.
show you that. That's
Watch
at
this here.
2014.
No, don't worry about that.
now. Look at Jamie just standing
We're
there
saying,
watching him like
let's
he could have helped.
Move these things even further
Uh-huh.
on to public.
He's like, look,
property.
I'm going to move our line.
Getting wet today.
We're going to,
Okay.
he says we're getting wet today. But that's just his sweat.
Come closer.
Okay, good. Okay.
There's the okay, good again.
So, all right, we do that.
Mhm.
The next water attack comes less.
A water
then
attack? Water attack, guys. It's a water attack. First of all, pouring water onto the ground. What are we attacking? The brick? Are we attacking the sidewalk? What is being attacked? What is being attacked? Like, it's just, this is what I'm saying about crafting the narrative, guys. Crafting the narrative that is repeated over and over and over and over again, that is not based in fact, that is based in Aaron's mind only, but everybody who watches him repeats this shit as if it's factual.
2 minutes later.
Yeah, who did he help leave Scientology that day? Nobody.
So let's just fast forward this way. Boom.
Boom.
Look at that. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25,
See what they
30.
Yeah, it's 5 times 6, Aaron. It's 30. Okay. It astounds me. This man wants to claim how smart he is and how much better he is at everything than everybody. You can't just see off the bat. Those are 5-gallon buckets. There's 6 of them. 5 times 6 is 30.
3 gallons of water.
Like, listen, I know the excuse always that he gives is, I grew up in a cult. What do I know? I grew up in a cult. Okay. First of all, Aaron, you have been out of the cult now for well over a decade. And you have raised and are raising, allegedly, 3 daughters. Okay. As a parent who's putting 4 kids through school, 2 are through high school. I've got 1 more in high school and 1 in middle school. Okay. So I got 4 more years. 5 more years to go. There is a 0% chance, if you're an active parent, that you haven't put yourself through the education that you missed, because you have to help them with all this motherfucking homework. Okay. Like, if you haven't had that opportunity, go to the Google, go to the YouTubes, and go to Khan Academy and start learning some shit. There's no excuses. There's no excuses now for not knowing things. Okay. There's no excuses for continuing to be dumb. Okay. With a decade plus and putting kids through public school, there's no excuses for not knowing stuff. Okay. Like, I don't find that an acceptable excuse anymore.
30 gallons of water.
Yeah.
Look at him. He literally crosses our water barrier.
Look how mad he is that they walked on a public sidewalk that is literally called public because anybody can be on it. As if they shouldn't be in public spaces. Oh, Shats, listen to me. I do not do Common Core. I told my kids and their teachers straight up, I learned math in the 80s and 90s, okay? I will not be learning a new math. So when my kids have a division problem, I'm not doing whatever the fuck all that is. I'm doing long division. And if you don't like it, then, fucking teach them better in class, because that's how I figure out division. I'm not learning another thing. It worked. Don't break it and try to do something else that's way more convoluted and complicated. Okay? Don't do that to me. Stop that. Fuck Common Core math. That's bullshit. Anyway.
Sorry, we're in public property.
And who's in whose face right now? How did you get so close to him?
Get out of here.
They all
Aaron took a
crossed our
bucket.
water barrier. They all committed criminal mischief
And threw
by
it.
dumping 30 gallons of water on our public artwork on public property. And they are, where do you think all that water's going? Okay. They are soaking our feet. Why is that not battery?
Because it's not, because you're in charge of where your feet are. And if you can move out of the way of the water and you don't step into it while you're assaulting people with chalk, then you wouldn't have that problem, would you? That sounds like a very personal problem. Also, you're in Florida. It's hot as fuck. Why are you wearing regular shoes? Get some fucking Crocs or some water socks or something if you're going to be engaging in water attacks. I mean, like, this is all logic. This is not, fucking quantum physics, okay? This is fucking easy for an adult to figure out. How do I feel about math? I think I told you, Kelly.
I said, honestly, one of the only reasons I even feel justified in getting chalk on them is because they're putting water on us. So if you want to write it up as a mutual battery, you have my blessing.
Okay. So in Florida, the battery statute, okay, 784.03, God damn it, stupid ads, means intentionally touching or striking someone against their will, okay, or intentionally causing them bodily harm, even if the touching involves an object connected to them, like knocking a phone from their hand. Okay. Simple battery is a first-degree misdemeanor, but it becomes a third-degree felony if the person has prior convictions, or if it's committed during a riot, and domestic battery has mandatory jail time of repeat offenses. Okay. So it has to be against their will, which is how if we go backwards to how the officer wrote it up, that's why he wrote it up that way. Because the guy, John Gaffney, did not want Aaron to touch him in any way, shape, or form. Okay. People putting water on a sidewalk on their private property and on their adjacent public property is not battery. It's literally washing the ground. Okay? Like, this is wild to me that a 40-plus-year-old adult human, a 45-year-old, 44, he'll be 45 next year, a 45-year-old, no, actually, he's 45 now. Yeah. A 45-year-old adult is trying to make an organization washing words in chalk off of a sidewalk in front of their property that they don't like, agree with, and that brings them mental anguish in some way, right? Because it's like, saying things they don't like with water, is somehow battery against them. Like, it blows my mind that this is the argument that he's come up with.
So then what happened is he showed me the very specific clip of me throwing chalk on the guy, or at the guy. And
on the guy. Oh, wait, at the guy.
He said, look, in this clip, it looks like he was pouring water here and you sort of walked up to him. It wasn't him throwing it on you. So
you guys see that in slow motion? How Aaron walks into the stream of water. He doesn't throw it towards him.
So the battery's only one-sided. So I'm going to have to arrest you. The police officer went through the whole video, watched all 3 water attacks, and even told the detective, he said, look, that third water attack, what I don't think was battery.
That's not in the report. All of this is hearsay. This is all Aaron's interpretation. Allegedly, the officers involved said these things. I want to be very clear about that. That is not in the police officer's report.
But I think the second water attack was. The detective didn't seem particularly interested in that argument at that moment, but I just wanted to point out that even one of the police officers said that. By the way, another one of the police officers, I won't name names, specifically said to me,
I don't want to brag, but
do not admit guilt.
I really hope that they play the interrogation tapes during the trial, because I want to see this conversation.
Don't do it.
That he's recounting
because
here.
I was going to have the opportunity to do a diversion program where you don't get arrested and you don't do this. You do enough community service and the whole thing gets expunged, and it never happened. And he said, but you'd have to, in order to do that, you have to admit fault. He goes, do not admit fault. Do not do that. I thought, hey, wow. When one of the police officers involved in arresting you tells you, do not admit guilt.
Like, guys, if you've watched any crime show ever, you know, you don't fucking talk. And he even goes over that here.
I like that advice. Okay, so this was the second one that the police officer said, that looks like battery to me. They dumped that water right on you guys.
No, that's not.
Okay.
I don't
so
believe
let's
that
see.
for a second. I
This is
just
public
personally
property.
don't
You
believe
just
that.
came out and
Look at him in
interfered
this
with our
kid's face.
constitutionally protected speech on public
That's not
property.
John Gaffney. This is
Don't
some
touch
other
me.
kid.
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
You see this kid? My hands are up. He did not put his hands out towards Aaron. Now he's going to get in this guy's face. Look at his face while he's watching this, guys. He laughs. What? Look at this gleeful joy because he got the bucket away from the person, and now he's kicking it away from an indentured servant of the fake Space Navy, and this is amusing him. He laughed at the time, and he's laughing at himself again. He's reliving that moment. It's bringing him joy.
Go get it, buddy. Go get it. Go get it.
Now, he's not on the steps. He's zoomed in there. Now, that's John Gaffney, who later gets the chalk on him.
What? This stuff that you abandoned on public property?
Now, watch. Aaron runs over to the bucket. Look at his face, guys. Watch him watch this. Again, joy. Gleeful joy as he runs and collects a bucket to play hide and go seek with a bucket from an indentured servant. Okay. And this note here is correct. Taking someone's bucket and impeding their path, stopping them from walking freely. However, that's a no-no. You don't get in someone's face and not let them walk freely towards their destination. That's bordering on imprisonment, under false imprisonment, and things like that.
I put those buckets over by the sidewalk, and I put some Scientology protest signs on top of them and invited them to go over and get the buckets from the sidewalk.
Look at how much joy he takes from that. He thinks that that's hilarious, that he invited them to come get the bucket.
Okay, 2405, and that is, once again, moving the water barriers back even further.
Now they move him back more. See, and you can see he just left stuff on the ground. That's not their fault.
Okay, let's move this a little
that
closer
you've
to us.
left trash on the ground, as you said about their bucket, abandoned property, right? So I don't know what he thought this was proving. Right, the buckets are Scientology's
we
property.
are now nowhere near their property line. I
Guys,
feel like it's really important.
we've moved
to
it
highlight
back.
This, and the reason that I'm
Right.
highlighting it is
Thank you, Jess. A police officer cannot advise the defendant on a plea. It is unethical behavior, and they can be suspended for doing so. Only a lawyer can provide any kind of legal advice. Correct. That's why I don't believe that conversation happened. I want to see the full interrogation tapes. I want to see the whole interview tapes. I hope someone FOIAs that. And let's talk about it. Let's watch it. I hope that's shown at the trial. It's insane that but people believe him out of hand. Oh, of course, the cops would say that, No. No, they're not going to say that. They're not going to say that. No cop is going to say that. And if they did say it, because remember, kids, cops are legally allowed to lie to you. They are not your prans, okay? They are not your prans.
show our intent.
Now it's our intent, not my intent, our intent. So he's trying to lump everybody in with him. His massive, the largest regular protest. This was, of course, on a Tuesday. It was an experiment. Okay. Our intent. Our intent. No, it's just your intent. This was your idea. It was yours.
Our intent was to prove how far Scientology will go.
Again,
to
not
interfere
illegal,
with
Aaron.
and harass the
It's
protesters.
not harassment.
We are moving further and further and further away from their property line to see just how far they will go.
Okay, good.
It doesn't matter.
They can. They're more than welcome. to
Another
keep coming
okay,
out.
good. That's the third one.
That's actually why we keep running these experiments, is to see.
That's just
how far
all
out of the way
sweat
they
all
will
over.
go
Look at him.
to interfere with us
Look at him.
on public property.
He's
Will they
just
come
so
out on public
happy with
property?
himself.
Will they step over our barriers that we've erected on public property? And this is honestly the first time they've done it.
It doesn't matter because the property is not yours. It's everyone's, including theirs.
Yep.
So, damn, here we go. Let's get ready to party, baby.
Let's get ready. Now, what
Let's
does
get
he
ready to
do?
party.
You see that blue chalk right there, guys? That's the property line that Aaron drew originally with the bag of chalk. Okay. And notice, remember in his story how he's going to tell you that later, but in his story, he says there was just a little thumb hole size hole. And then, for his pouring there. And then when he shook it, it must have just ripped the whole bag. And he was so surprised. But what is he doing with the bag right there, guys?
Jamie.
Now he's
get
holding
rid
it
of
with
baby.
both hands.
Come on.
Now, here's the mistake I made.
With his
honestly.
saggy diaper
Here's the
shorts on.
strategic mistake I made, especially given the context.
Strategic mistake, guys. This is the closest Aaron has ever come to apologizing in his life.
Of what I just said, our intention was in running this experiment. If we wanted to continue to prove how far they were willing to go, then I should have allowed them to come up to us.
Oh, you should have just stood still and see if they came to you instead of running up to them.
Like I did last time. That was a strategic mistake. That was a strategic mistake. That was a strategic mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Bring it. Bring it.
Look at that saggy diaper
Bring it.
pants he's got on.
Oh,
Look, why is it legal for them to intentionally dump about 250 gallons
It's less than 200.
of water directly at my feet on public property? Like, what do I have to do? Do I have to be barefoot? Like, I can imagine someone being like, it just touched your shoes.
Uh-huh.
Okay. What if I was barefoot?
Then it would have touched your feet. And you are in charge of your feet, sir. You are not, no one else is in charge of where your feet are. If you don't move your feet when you see that people are bringing water out to pour where you're standing, that sounds like a personal problem. That sounds like a personal problem to me, bro.
I need to be barefoot in order to have throwing 250 gallons of water in.
They didn't throw it. Again, this is the narrative that he's crafting. No one threw water.
In someone's direction on purpose, be battery.
They poured it.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, and it doesn't make sense to me that I would have to be barefoot. It seems to me that your shoes should be good enough. What do you guys think?
I think you're an idiot. That's what I think.
it's just going to hit our water barrier, you losers. Yeah. Here you go.
Watch Aaron watch himself here, guys.
That's a big cloud. That's a big cloud. That's a big cloud. Okay, I want to show
Look how much joy that brought him. This is like the third time he's watched it during the video.
some things here. Watch this. You'll notice I'm gonna back up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then actually, I think I'm playing this on 1 1/4 speed. When we watch the actual thing, I'm going to slow it down to normal speed. Okay, I want you to watch where everyone is standing. Okay.
Yes, he's going to point out all the people now. Okay. He's going to point out the characters here.
Get ready to party, baby.
We have 4 people. The 2 people on the outside have the I don't know how many gallons of water would be in one of those trash haulers.
65.45 gallons.
100 gallons. They're on the out.
He just goes like numbers. Like it's 100, it's 500, it's 1 million. 10 million gallons of water.
Outside.
Come on,
Okay.
bring it.
They dump first.
Bring it.
Yeah, they
Okay.
Bring it.
The guy who ends up who I end up getting chalk on, he's standing second from the right.
Mhm.
He's standing second from the right.
Mhm.
Watch him specifically walk over to my side and walk down the steps towards me.
My side.
Oh, it's just going to hit our water barrier, you losers.
Now, ready?
Yeah.
Here he goes down the stairs. Up. There's Aaron taking the first step. There's Aaron taking the first step towards him. Aaron didn't stay in his spot. The world will never know if that man was going to walk right up to Aaron or not. Because Aaron started walking towards him. He quickly empties his bucket in the nearest space possible.
Here you go.
Bup,
Yeah.
bup.
Here you
Mhm.
go. Yeah. Here you go.
Look at Aaron studying this like a scholar. Trying not to have
Now
too much
look.
joy.
I wish I could zoom in on this.
Oh, you
saw
mean like
saw
I
another
did?
clip of this that had much better zoom.
Yeah, there's
I want to watch this again. Can you guys let me know in the live chat if you can tell
Yeah.
that he's turned away from me when
Water barrier,
I
you losers.
do
Can you
those
guys
clouds?
tell?
Here
Can
you
you
go.
tell that he's not right up in my jizz? Can you
Okay.
tell?
He turns away from me. He keeps walking backwards, and then he walks back into the cloud.
Oh no. You mean he walks
Come on, bring it back.
toward the
baby.
door?
Okay. When he turns around, do you see the dark blue spot just above
All right, listen up.
Oh,
Toss that
another
inhaler in the
ad
trash
about
right now.
bullshit.
Seriously, they've been lying to you.
Blah, blah,
That
blah.
pump doesn't cure anything.
That pump
the
doesn't,
real
guys.
fix for COPD
This
isn't at
is,
the farm.
you do need that if you
the back
have
of his
asthma.
pant
Please
line,
don't watch these
where
ads
he
on Rumble.
really kind of, I guess, the cloud of holly powder was the densest.
Yeah.
No, here, watch when he. Okay, it's when he dumps and then turns around
Come on,
again.
bring it back.
Look,
back, baby.
you see the spot on his back? He couldn't have that spot on his back if he was facing me when he got powdered.
What? Did you want some more? Come on.
Did you hear
we can play.
Cheryl in the background?
Did you want some more, buddy? Come on, let's go. We can play. We can play. Let's go. Come on, we can play.
So,
Guys, did you see how much joy he got from watching them try to leave the space that he was at? You want to play? You want to play? He thinks it's fun. It's fun for him.
imagine the bag is a square.
Guys,
The bag originally
it's a square.
had a hole in the side
Listen to this.
of the bag,
Mm,
about a quarter of the way down the
quarter. A quarter. This
Um,
is a
and
quarter.
I had been
If the
using
bag is this
to
big, you know,
sprinkle
I don't know. What
some
are we
holly powder
measuring?
on the ground? And that was
Uh-huh.
the purpose of making maybe a thumb-sized hole
Thumb
so that
size.
it didn't just dump out, because that's an inefficient use of powder.
Yeah, that's just a waste.
So when I went over to him, my intention was to create a cloud
more
of powder.
more of this, guys.
If you've used this powder,
More
you
of
realize,
this.
Like once it hits the air, it disperses very quickly. It's like if you
Yeah.
sprinkle it on the ground, carefully.
Look at the dispersion, guys. Look at the dispersion of that. Look at that dispersion. It just instantly is just nothing, isn't it?
It will stay clumped. But if it catches any wind
See, look at
whatsoever,
it. Do you guys see the chalk literally like pouring out like a waterfall at that point? It's insane. Oh, thank you, Janet. Thank you for the super chat. Aaron just wants to show off for his viewers to the detriment of other protesters. Correct.
poof, it disperses
Poof.
immediately.
No, it wasn't a poof.
Atomizes, essentially, whatever the word is. So what happened is,
Atomizes.
you can see the bag was shaken
Uh-huh.
twice. One, okay, and
Oh,
I
good.
want to show it
There
to you
he
so you guys can
admits
see what
it.
I'm talking
They
about.
shook it
Okay, here we go.
twice.
Watch, do you see there's two shakes? There's
The losers?
there's one down low, one up high.
Here you go.
1, 2. So he admits, bop, bop. He just, they should just play this in the trial because this is a full confession tape, in my opinion.
Okay. The one down low wasn't very big.
Yeah.
The one
Come on,
up
bring it back.
high was like very surprisingly big. And that's because what happened is as I shook that.
Listen, he's going to explain to you how he did it and what happened in the moment. Again, if you are ever facing a legal consequence for an action that you did, whether you are guilty or not, do not do this. Do not do this ever.
That bag, a whole giant hole popped in the top of the bag that I had not created. Okay. It was not my intent
Here we go.
to sort of end up dumping half of that bag on that guy. And I was surprised when it happened. Well, you can't see in the video because you can't see the giant hole. That
Yeah,
opened
except
up
for
in
you
the
can.
top
You can see
when
it
I
pouring
basically-
out
I
like
guess
a
I must have,
waterfall.
squeezed the bag when I shook it and it sort of popped.
More
the bag and it
information.
created this
Why
hole in
are
the
you
top.
still
That's
talking?
why so much of the powder ended up
That's
going in his direction. What I really wanted to do was create a big cloud.
Mhm.
What I really wanted to do was create a big cloud. What I really wanted to do was create a big cloud.
Mhm.
In the future,
Okay,
if Scientology
this is even worse.
would try to make further complaints if their Sea Org members walked into holly powder clouds that we created in our area.
So this was his great idea. Okay. So instead of going on to their shit and pouring it, like he did, just directly at the person. Instead, what if he and Cheryl were just out there just creating clouds of holly powder, as you do as an adult human in public when you're not at a festival or a rave or actual holly or any of that or a fun run. You're just on a sidewalk. We're just creating clouds, guys. Creating clouds. What would that mean?
As they were walking towards us.
So again, this is not, you're already making the intent known that you want them to walk into your cloud. You want them to walk into your time. Whose video am I reviewing? And how long ago did Aaron do this live stream? This live stream is on the Rumble channel, Aaron Smith 11 Truths. This is a cut of his July 30th stream entitled I'm Out of Jail and Scientology is So Screwed. Yeah.
So let's say there's 4 Sea Org members walking towards.
This is just a cut of that video in linear. It's in the same, it's not chopped up and moved around. It's just shortened to take out all the ums and also a lot of other exposition that had nothing to do with anything.
Us with buckets. And we are standing in front of our chalk art, and we make a big holly powder cloud before they get there. I would argue it's the Sea Org members' choice whether to walk through that holly powder cloud that we just created on public property.
So if it's your choice then, Aaron, to stand in the path of water that's being poured on private and public property, that sounds like a you problem. You just used the actual argument against yourself. Literally just erased your entire defense.
In the area that we're occupying, do you think Scientology would try to be like, oh, they got holly powder on us? Like, no, the holly powder was in the air and you walked towards us.
See, that's what he thought he was doing. That's literally what he thought he was doing. But that's not what he did. He walked up to the guy and shook it twice in his own words. I shook it twice. One was down low, one was high.
I had another fun idea.
Oh, here's the other fun idea, guys.
Super soakers, water guns.
What if we had super soakers, again, donated, super soakers or water guns? And what are we going to do with those water guns, Aaron?
And as soon as we saw the Sea Org members walking towards us, all the protesters started shooting each other with super soaker water guns. And the Sea Org members would have to decide whether they wanted to walk through our water gun fight.
Now, you know what would happen, right? So let's say, let's get some stuff up here. I've got a Sprite can and I've got my inhaler. Let's say this is Feral Cheryl and this is Aaron. And they're just pew, 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 right? Okay. They're shooting each other. They're having fun. Okay. And then here comes the Sea Org member out of their building. And now any logical human who sees 2 idiots in public using a water gun fight is going to go pop, 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 pop around them, right? Who wants to bet that as soon as they start going here, this goes over here, and then they go over here? Oh, no. Yeah, give me a break. No one's going to try and walk through your shit, but you're not going to stand still. You're not going to actually give that person a choice. You're going to manipulate the situation in order for them to have to somehow encounter your water gun. It's like, come on, this is so beyond obvious. Look how funny that is. Just thinking about shooting an indentured servant of the fake space navy of the cult with water just brings him so much joy.
Me and Cheryl have been brainstorming on how to get around this.
Me and Cheryl have been brainstorming on how to get around this. Girl, Cheryl, one of his biggest supporters, girl, he's putting you in it. He's putting you as part of it. I hope you don't get charges, but
there's some.
But Cheryl, you're part of it.
Debate right now on whether Scientology will try to parlay this into a request for a restraining order. I think this stands to reason that it wouldn't surprise anybody that they would try.
And they got it.
Create a very ripe anti-SLAPP situation that would embarrass the hell out of Scientology.
There's the no contact order, guys. And where's Aaron's anti-SLAPP lawsuit? Where's Aaron's anti-SLAPP lawsuit, guys? It doesn't exist. And there's his no contact order right there in black and white. It's real.
So in order to get a restraining order, you have to prove some sort of pattern of consistent harassment or stalking of an individual, not of the Church of Scientology. And you also can't call our protesting stalking and harassment because it's protected activity.
Okay. So here's some more information, guys. Okay. In Florida, 5 different types of protective orders are available: domestic violence, sexual violence, dating violence, repeat violence, and stalking. How do you know which of Florida's 5 injunctions of protection that you need? Oh, okay. The victim is known in court as the petitioner. The other party is the respondent. The petition must be sworn. This means signed in front of a notary or court clerk. Lucky for Scientologists, every security guard is also a notary. The judge may issue a temporary injunction to petitioner before a hearing is held. They didn't even do that. The temporary injunction must be served upon respondent, usually by the sheriff. A hearing may still be held even if there's no temporary injunction. The respondent must be given notice of any hearing. Each party may bring witnesses to testify for them at the hearing. The judge may issue a final or permanent injunction after hearing both parties. Unless it is for a certain time, an injunction stays in effect until the court changes it. There is no end date on Aaron's protection order. There are penalties if the respondent violates the protection. Okay. Stalking requires at least 2 incidents of stalking or cyber stalking. Either victim or parent or guardian of a minor child, not that, protects adults and minor children from further stalking or cyber stalking. A temporary injunction may require a respondent to surrender guns and ammunition. A permanent injunction must require a respondent, that's Aaron, to surrender guns and ammunition. Respondent may be ordered to get treatment at his or her own expense. Repeat violence requires at least 2 incidents of violence or stalking by respondent on petitioner or an immediate family member. One must be within the past 6 months. Petitioner must fear repeat violence by respondent. These are all different aspects. It doesn't have to be every single one. Either victim or parent or guardian, protects adults and minor children from further violence or contact. Okay? Respondent may be ordered to surrender guns and ammunition. So in this case, I'm going to assume the fear of repeat violence by respondent and the cyber and physical stalking was an issue. Okay, because Aaron's there every week, right? And Aaron has approached many security guards throughout his, year plus of this protest. Okay. This is serious. This is not something that any judge grants lightly. An order of protection is a big fucking deal, and they got it.
What was the name of the victim? John Gaffney.
Uh-huh.
I don't know who John Gaffney is. I don't know what he looks like. I've never spoken to him. I mean, I guess I spoke. I don't even know if I've ever spoken to him. Well, when I said, would you want some more?
Oh, you mean that part where you said, do you want some more? We can party.
Play.
You want to play? Do you see the smile there, guys? Do you see the fucking smile?
I don't know John Gaffney. I couldn't possibly stalk John Gaffney. I couldn't possibly harass John Gaffney. I don't even know what he looks like. At the Flag Land Base, there's probably 100 security guards. It's not like L. Ron Hubbard Way where there's only like a dozen.
There's more than a dozen on L. Ron Hubbard Way.
There's probably like 100 security guards.
That's probably accurate though for
I don't
Florida.
know who John Gaffney is, and I don't even know what he looks like.
14 times so far, guys.
The guy that got chalk, holly powder on him. He's wearing a mask. I still don't even know what he looks like, and he's my victim. I still don't even know what he.
And he's my victim.
Looks like. So us going to protest at Flag is not consistent and continual stalking and harassment of John Gaffney. I'll tell you what. Out of the 100
a judge
SEER
didn't see it
members,
that way.
Maybe they should stop sending John Gaffney out. Like, it's not even also true that they always send the same people. I have no idea if they always send John Gaffney out or if that was the first time. But I'll tell you what, if they were to send him out again, that would be their problem. See, we're not there to harass their security guards. We're
You're
there
not?
to protest.
I think we saw something different last Friday. Not this last Friday, Friday before last. When you not walked, ran up to Mateo, a security guard, 2 times to scream in his face.
They send their security guards out to harass us, interfere with our protest, and damage our protest art.
It's the same stuff about being able to. It's not illegal.
And one of the reasons that why Scientology.
But see, again, he keeps repeating these certain phrases, the criminal mischief, it's illegal for them to come out. So that, what do we see all of his followers, all of his little AA Ron Hubbardites, okay? What do they all say? It's illegal. Scientology shouldn't be allowed to do that. They're wrecking the art. They're doing these things. No, they are cleaning a sidewalk. That will literally be the argument in court. And they are allowed to do that. Legally in Florida, a church or a business can and sometimes is required to maintain the cleanliness of the public sidewalks surrounding or adjacent to their property. Okay?
Scientology is so screwed is it is now full court press. No longer are we going to sit back and be like,
listen to this,
we don't want
guys.
to bother the police. We don't want to be a nuisance. No, guess what? You're getting a phone call on everything. Everything.
Except for when you don't want to call and you just tell your followers to call because you can't stop your live stream. Your life is in so much danger and you want to file an urgent police report that you're so cheap you haven't bought a flip phone, or stop your fucking live stream and call the police and then start another live stream.
Every time they come out and destroy our art while we're in the middle of doing it on public property, you're getting a 911 call.
That is a nuisance call. Nothing illegal is happening.
Every time one of their members comes over and makes physical contact with the protester, you're getting a phone call. Scientology wants to escalate. Scientology wants to play legal warfare. We're going to protect our rights. We're going to defend ourselves. Okay. We're going to put Scientology on the defense because even though we have a workaround for
they have a workaround, guys,
this emblem area, it will still remain to be
it's a
seen
workaround.
Whether they will come onto the brick. Let's say I put
They're
those water
allowed
barriers
to.
just on the brick. Will they come onto the brick?
They're
which is
allowed
nowhere
to.
even close to their property.
It doesn't matter.
Step over our water barriers.
They can.
Which are there to protect our protest art.
It doesn't have to be protected.
What we're creating.
It's not an art
as
installation.
We're creating it.
They have the legal right to do
tell
that.
me how that is not criminal mischief.
It's
Please
not.
tell me how that is not criminal
Because
mischief.
it's not.
When I was handcuffed and put into the car, they did not take me to the jail. They drove me one block down the street and we went into the police station for the next 3 hours.
Okay. So now he's just going to repeat the same story from before. More hypnotic suggestions and indoctrination. Letting everyone know he's in with the police. This is not a big deal. He's fighting it all the way. Scientology's the bad guy. He didn't do anything wrong.
Now, before we went into the police station, we stayed outside the police station for probably 20 minutes
Uh-huh.
because the officers said, look, we're trying to figure out how to handle this so that it's not an arrest. And he was literally on the horn with someone trying to get approval to just have me do a diversion instead. Now, this was before we had the conversation in the building.
Now, notice how the story changes. First, he was offered the diversion, but the officer, because, he's on his side, was like, hey, bro, don't do that because you have to admit guilt. Literally, he could have taken a diversion program. Now the officer was trying to get approval. Like, you had to see if he could even offer that. Can we offer him this option? But guys, a diversion program would have meant no formal charges, no court, no bail, no nothing. And he would have gone off and done anger management and community service, no criminal record. But then the very wise detective was like, don't ever admit guilt.
Where one of the officers says, do not admit guilt.
Or the officer.
And admitting guilt was required to do the diversion. He said, do not admit guilt. So.
Right. So here we go on why this arrest was completely invalid. Where's your lawsuit against CPD? Against the Clearwater, police department? Where's that? Oh, it doesn't exist. Okay.
They were trying to figure out how to not arrest me.
What's this?
How to not take me to jail.
What's that?
They also told me that several of the high executive brass of the police station, of the police force, were watching my live stream as it occurred.
That's hilarious. Guys, if I was arrested for something and I was live streaming it, okay? Let's say I went to go protest ICE and I'm live streaming it. And one of the ICE people tells me, did you know that Kash Patel and several other, high-ranking, Christy Noam were watching your live stream as it occurred? I would probably shit my pants. I'll be honest with you. I would shit my pants because that would be terrifying to know that this one singular person, had grabbed the attention of the brass of a law enforcement division. That's not a good thing.
He also told me that Scientology had made a ton of 911 calls to the police about us.
About us. It's you, bro. You know it's you.
Before the so-called battery. And that's why the police had driven by a few times. And they said, we are not going to stop and even talk to the protesters just because Scientology.
Where's the statement from the police verifying this, corroborating this?
Is constantly calling 911, complaining about this, complaining about that. The police
did their job. They drove by. They observed no one committing any crimes at that time. And so they left the scene. If somebody calls 911 and says, there's a robbery in progress, this man is sticking up another person on the street, and the police roll up and they see a man just having like an animated conversation with somebody, blah, 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 blah. And the other guy's like listening, or he's like, hey, you know, but they observe that it's a conversation. They might walk up to them and be like, what's happening here? Are you guys okay? It seems like it's getting a little heated. But if there's nobody with a weapon pointed at another person attempting to take their property by force, that's not a crime. If they don't observe a crime being committed, there's no crime. So the police are going to be like, well, that was a waste of a car trip. Like, come on. And yes, Scientology is going to keep calling and saying weird shit. That's their MO. Right?
Trying to figure out how to not make this a big deal. And I really appreciate it. And I believe them.
I appreciate it.
And I don't think it was just performative. We were outside the station for about 20 minutes when he's like, okay. He says, look, we're going to have to arrest you, but it is just going to be a misdemeanor. I'm like, all right.
Correct,
well,
Janet.
Do what you got to do.
Oh, see? So it's not a big deal to him. It meant nothing. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do.
So we go up to the interview room. We're sitting there. We're waiting for the detective. We waited for the detective for like an hour.
That's called sweating you out. It's called, you know, you're marinating the suspect. You want them to be uncomfortable. This is not a privilege. This is not something that you should enjoy.
Now, I don't mind sharing.
All right, listen up.
Oh, for
Toss
fuck's
that inhaler
sake.
in the trash right now.
I'm not tossing
Seriously,
my inhaler in
they've
the
been
trash,
lying
you
to
fucking
That
AI
part doesn't-
whack job.
That the officers said to me, we have no idea why we are waiting for a detective right now. This is very unusual. There's no reason for it. Normally, we would just go to jail.
There's no reason that we're waiting for a detective after a crime has been committed and you're being charged with the crime. I'm sorry. Am I to believe that officers, sworn officers of the law, okay, are going to say to a suspect in a crime that they've just been arrested for and are being charged with, I don't know why we're waiting for a detective. That's crazy. Normally, we just go to the jail. I'm sorry, what?
Jail. We do not know why we're waiting for a detective. So the detective showed up. He did read me my rights.
Okay. At that point, kids, let's all ask ourselves a very important question. When a detective or anybody, an officer of the law, is reading you your Miranda rights, okay? You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one will be appointed for you, okay? Right? When those things are being read out to you, anything that you say or do can and will be used against you in a court of law. Do you understand these rights as I've read them to you? The only word out of your mouth should be yes. And then when they start to ask you any question, you say, I want an attorney. I want an attorney. That's it. And then you shut the fuck up. But what does Aaron do?
I did talk to him. I know people will say that was stupid, but you know, it is what it is. I didn't tell him anything that he wouldn't be able to see from all my videos.
That doesn't matter. You shut the fuck up.
I understand that there are 5 rules on how to conduct
Watch
yourself
this, guys.
with the police, and all of them are shut the fuck up, don't talk to the police.
Why is that funny? That he knows what the rules are, but he doesn't do it. Hang on 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. 1 second. I'm back. Here we go.
I'm a sucker for being cooperative, you guys. You know me.
He's a sucker for being cooperative. What?
That's my reputation. Okay, so we spoke to the detective. When the detective left, I asked the officers, what the fuck was even the point of this conversation? And they said, we don't know.
Yeah, what was the point of that?
Then I sat in that fucking interview room for another hour waiting to be transported.
Look at how outraged he is. This is just the caucasity of this man. I sat there for an hour. How dare they make me wait to go to jail for an hour?
Guys, what is going on? Is someone still undecided about whether I'm going to jail tonight?
What? What?
And the answer I got was, we have no idea what we're waiting for. Really? For real? And so then once it was finally time to go to jail, straight to jail, I said, so let me get this right.
This is the thing he repeats multiple. Straight to jail. Like it's a joke. It's a joke to him, guys. This entire procedure is a joke.
We have no idea why we waited for a detective. We have no idea why we spoke to the detective. And we have no idea why we sat around and waited for an hour to be transported.
No idea. Because you're a big mouth blabbermouth. That's why. Because they knew you'd fucking yap about all the shit you did and fucking bury yourself with your own fucking statements because you're an idiot and you think the cops are there to help you.
So then I went straight to jail, and that was an interesting experience, right? Walk right in, instantly swap clothes for an orange jumpsuit.
He does like
What really struck me is how many people are in jail, were arrested and being processed and in jail for bullshit, for total bullshit.
Wow. Like, welcome to the fucking year 2025 and our fucking prison industrial complex, Aaron Smith Levin.
There was also some straight up lunatics in there, which honestly was a little fun. Honestly was a little fun.
He liked the straight up lunatics, guys. That was a little fun.
And, you know, one of the things I said to the officer, the detective, when the detective was there in the interview room with me, with one of the
there was an officer and a detective. It was a party.
I was like, you do see the problem here, right? I said, these guys have been dumping thousands of gallons of water on us.
Hundreds.
It's in my videos.
Hundreds.
The police officers have seen it. We mention it to the police officers.
It's not illegal.
Show up. Is like, because like, well, did you file a police report? It's like, come on, man. The police come out. We tell them what's happening. And the police basically say, you guys can chalk the public sidewalk. They can throw water on the public sidewalk. You guys can chalk the public sidewalk. They can throw water on the public sidewalk. They can throw water on the public sidewalk. They can throw water on the public sidewalk. And I've always responded, we know it's not illegal to throw water on a public sidewalk. We know it's not illegal to throw water on a public sidewalk. He knows that. It's illegal to throw water at protesters
No.
who are standing on a public
No.
sidewalk. It's illegal to throw water at what the protesters are creating.
No.
It's intentionally
And
interfering.
they didn't throw it
with
at you. They threw it on
legal and
the sidewalk.
constitutionally protected activity. And the intent
Come on, man.
matters.
You've done key to life.
It's not like we just happen to be chalking in front of their rain downspout. And oh no, it's inadvertent.
Oh
It's
no.
like they are only walking outside
Uh-huh.
with many hundreds of gallons of water
Uh-huh.
to throw it in our direction.
Uh-huh.
And it's like the police should be the one to be like, you're right. We're going to talk to them about that.
No.
Not like, well, did you do anything about it? Well, you were there. Did you do anything about it?
No, because
and,
it's
you know,
not
one of
illegal.
the crazy things here, and even the police officers
'Cause
acknowledge
it's-
this in the
it's
interview.
not
You
illegal.
can't rely on police to be the source or the reference for what is or is not legal.
What?
Police do not know everything that is legal or is not legal. You
Actually,
could have
they
some newer
know the
police officer that
statutes.
walks by while someone's doing something and says, "Eh, nothing
Yeah.
wrong with this." But then another police officer comes along and gives you a ticket or arrests you for the same thing you might have already gotten away with 100 times. And on the other side of the coin, just because the police officer says something is illegal doesn't mean it is.
Oh, just because a cop says something is illegal or legal doesn't mean it is. Correct. Because the police, again, hot tip, are trained to lie to you. Do not go through any. The police are there to protect property. Okay. Quick history lesson for anybody who's interested. Our policing force was invented during the time of slavery to recover the slave owner's lost property, which was a human being. That is how policing was invented in the United States of America. Okay? Police protect property. They do not protect people. And the more you understand that 100% truth, okay, the better your perspective of what the police can and will and won't and what they're there for will do. They are not there to protect you. They are there to protect property. Okay? They're not there to help you, Aaron.
And so we're sort of at the mercy of experts who aren't necessarily the authority on the thing we expect them to be and want them to be experts in. So we're really left to fend for ourselves. And the truth is,
yeah, because you didn't get caught the first 15 times didn't mean when you got caught the 16th time, you don't pay the price for finally getting caught. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you.
Our approach has been, don't be a pest to the city.
Hey, don't be a pest to the city.
Don't be a pest to the police.
Nobody likes that.
Just be here for the right reasons. We're not here,
guys, the right
to
reasons.
drag the city into it.
Yeah.
We do have
to just put chalk all over the place with the word cult that really helps people inside Scientology understand, I'm here to help you. I'm here. Help me help you. Help me help you. Help yourself.
Have to fend for ourselves. And we do have
like the rest of America?
Our own
Jesus
rights.
Christ.
And we do have to insist that the police get as involved in defending us and our rights as Scientology.
He doesn't file the police reports.
The police get involved and defend Scientology's rights. You see the problem with them having dumped thousands of gallons of water on us. And the moment this guy gets some holly powder on him, which, by the way, is all over us as well.
Is it? I don't see it all over you.
I'm arrested and I'm in jail. I said, by the way, the problem is also 2 weeks ago, a Scientologist literally physically hit me. And it's good
Okay, this is the incident that he's referring to. Please watch.
Exercise, guys. See, I'm doing my stretches, getting... What's that?
That's illegal.
So he's writing the word cult outside of Scientology's property. He covered up the word church with his chalk. Notice he's wearing gloves here. He's wearing all black so he doesn't get like weird stains on himself. Look at the approach 2 weeks earlier, okay? He's just written one word, changed church to cult. This woman walks by. She's walking by him and says, you can't do that. It's illegal. What is Aaron's reaction? This is key again, because this is a preview of what happened 2 weeks later.
I gotta tell you what, ma'am, it's actually
Now, she can clearly hear you, Aaron. There's no reason to reach for your camera, which is what you're doing right now, and approach her, but you're going to.
not illegal.
It's not public property.
You know, ma'am,
You can't do that.
it is public property.
So now now he's going to point the camera at her and her husband. He's like really looking at the word here, like, what?
Actually,
Go away.
it actually
Now, right there, she says, go away. She is not consenting to him being in her space. She's telling him she doesn't want him in her space, right? And she's walking toward a private property, which he is no longer a member of. Okay?
is public property. Did you know that?
So then she tries to swipe the phone. She doesn't get it.
Ma'am, you just assaulted me. I'm gonna
So then when Aaron turns around, she tapped his shoulder.
call the police.
Go for it.
You just assaulted me, and I'm gonna
And this guy's like, go for it.
call the police.
The camera away.
You're
Yeah. And she's like, get the camera out of my face. Now, where's Aaron? Is he on the steps? I think he's on
live
the
on
steps.
YouTube with 2,000 people watching you. Just so you know, property actually.
Go away.
It actually is public property. Did you know that?
Get out of my face.
Ma'am,
See?
you just assaulted me. I'm going to call the police.
Go for it.
You just assaulted me, and I'm going to call the police.
The camera away.
You're live on YouTube with 2,000 people watching you. Just so you
He
know.
walked right up to
And
the door.
I filed a complaint against her.
Uh-oh.
You guys already know who she is. You guys have already seen the video.
In
You
his
guys already
next
know how to
video, he
contact
does
her.
this.
You guys already know where she lives.
Literally docks the shit out of this woman.
She's not in jail. She actually physically hit me. I did not hit this guy. I've made no physical contact with this guy whatsoever. He gets some holly powder on him. I'm in jail. You see the problem, right?
No.
Even the detective pretty much seemed to be like, I see the problem. By the way, I think the hate crime enhancement is why bail was $1,000 instead of $500.
Oh, you think that's why? You think that they charged you double bail because of the hate crime enhancement? Maybe, perhaps, maybe.
$100. The cops even told me it would be $500. And then when I found out it was $1,000, I was like, what? For simple battery? The hate crime enhancement is the reason
Right
why.
there.
The hate crime enhancement is the reason why.
Okay. So the actions and words shown here in the video you just watched by Aaron Smith Levin make it abundantly clear that he is not only aware of his actions and the effect that they have on those around him, but that he feels totally justified in continuing that behavior. This was the start. This was the day after he was released from jail, okay, on bond. Here he lays down the lore of his case, which is repeated over and over by him and now all of his followers for the last few months. None of it, the lore, is what you see in the videos. Okay? This is very important because he is fucking his own case if you want to like get legal about it. It is, yeah, he literally docks that woman in a like a, I think it was the day or it was the same week. He put out a video that was about something else, but he goes over like where she works, her Facebook, all of this shit, right? And when he doxes somebody, right, he uses publicly available information. But he found out what her name was. Here's my problem with that, right? Is that once he discovered her name to file the police report or whatever, then he looked her up on Facebook and LinkedIn and all these other things to find all this information out. And then gave his public audience, right, of thousands of people, her full name, where she works, where she lives, you know, all this stuff. That is, I don't know how that's not, you know, some sort of like criminal mischief-esque thing, right? I cannot emphasize enough, guys, that the discovery, let's just go back to that really quick, circle back. The discovery, okay, that what the prosecution is going to be displaying for the judge, okay, will be some of the most damning stuff we have ever seen, okay? It's going to be written, recorded, and or oral statements of Aaron Smith Levin, the accused, okay? Tangible papers obtained from or belonging to the accused, which the state intends to use at the hearing or trial. Tangible papers obtained from or belonging to the accused. electronic surveillance of premises of accused or conversations to which the accused was party, documents relating to search or seizure. There's going to be a lot of shit presented in this case that Aaron has willingly provided via his YouTube, via the fucking, hours and hours and hours of jailhouse phone calls that he made. He called people. Right? He called people. That will all be presented in court. Okay? This is exactly what not to do, okay, on the internet, guys. If you're going to go protest anything, okay, which in this country right now is being demonized as a criminal act, and they're making a list of people who say anything against Trump or the administration or ICE or whatever. I'm sure I'm on 85 lists. I don't care, okay? But when you go to protest something, you have to do it within the confines of the law, regardless of your opinions of the actions of the group that you are protesting. Okay? And also know that even in my small town here of Beaverton, okay, the police are not here, even though, like, as an example, guys, the police in my town have said publicly, and the mayor has said publicly, oh, we're not working with ICE. We're not working in conjunction with ICE. We're not doing any of that, right? A girl, and I say girl because, like, I think she's like 20, a young lady, went and testified at our city council here about an incident that occurred to her where she was surrounded by 20 plus ICE officers in a parking lot of a courthouse, where she observed ICE officers going onto court property where they're not supposed to be, because they're not supposed to be working in conjunction with the police and yada, yada. Okay. She was just documenting where they were for the public to be like, here they are, avoid this area, right? She was surrounded by them. She made a 911 call. Several viewers of her live stream made 911 calls. The first responding officer in his report, who drove up to the scene with 20 ICE officers surrounding, a lone woman in her car, on a PA system from her car saying, please back off, don't touch my car, whatever. They literally wrote in a report, nothing to see, nothing going on. Officers who came out of the courtroom, bailiffs, were like, what the fuck's going on here? The ICE officers said, go fuck yourself, fuck off, and they left. They are not there to protect you. No matter what you're protesting, no matter how righteous your protest is, they're not there to protect you. They're there to protect property. They are there to enforce the state's agenda. They're not there to protect you. Okay? If for some godforsaken reason, any of you who choose to go out and protest Scientology are arrested or detained or taken into custody by any form of law enforcement, okay, and they read you your rights, okay, you need to ask, before your rights are read to you, you need to be very specific. Am I being detained? If the answer to that is no, am I free to go? Then they say yes. You say, okay, bye, and you leave. You literally just leave. If they say, well, you're under an investigation right now, well, you just keep repeating the question, am I free to go? Or am I under arrest? If the answer to am I under arrest is no, you say, okay, then I'm going to leave, because they cannot keep you if they're not arresting you. Okay? If they are arresting you and they read you your rights, all you say is, I want a lawyer. I want my phone call and I want a lawyer. That's it. And you call whoever your emergency person is who can come and foot some bail or whatever, or bring a lawyer to you or whatever. That's it. I have told my children, because a lot of them are interested in protesting things, that they do not talk to police for any reason whatsoever. Right? That they, if that happened to them, they say, I want to call my mother and I want a lawyer. That's it. That's it. Okay? Because otherwise you're literally, you're selling yourself down the river, no matter what they tell you. Oh, we just don't want this to be a big deal. We would just love for this to just go away. Okay, I want a lawyer. And then the lawyer will talk to you, and I will just sit here fucking looking at my navel. That's it. Okay? Literally. Don't do that. Okay? Please use this as a cautionary tale. Please use this as a cautionary tale of things to never, ever do. Okay? And also know that this trial is going to be, if it actually goes to trial, guys, if it actually goes to trial, okay, and some deal is not being bartered right now in the interim while we're waiting, 18 days, which I would be shocked if it's not. If this goes to trial and all of that stuff is brought to light, all of the conversations are replayed, all of the videos are replayed, all of the there's no way. There's a 0%, guys. Just looking at what Aaron's done and recorded himself doing, okay, there is a 0% chance that he doesn't get convicted. And with the hate crime enhancement on there, we are now talking up to 5 years for each single charge. If the judge is feeling saucy. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, in our imperfect justice system, the judge could be like, okay, well, you're guilty as fuck, but you did 22 days in jail. I don't really want to fuck with you anymore. We're going to give you probation and, we're keeping the protection order in, which would only mean that Aaron can protest, but from 500 feet away, right? It's not going to stop anything. And the fact that Erica, made a cardboard cutout of Aaron and brought it onto the property, I don't know how that's not a violation of the judge's very strict orders. I mean, guys, Aaron was presented more than once with an opportunity to make this stop. Okay? To make this stop. And he didn't take it. He didn't take it. He kept protesting because that's his right. And he's the only one doing it. Blah, 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 blah. Okay? And this just shows it's not about the protest. It's not about getting people to leave Scientology. It's not about educating people about the crimes of Scientology. It is about him. It is about his ego. It is about someone who is a malignant narcissist. Okay? And that's what makes him dangerous. It's not that he's, wildly out of control and wildly irresponsible. That's just part of it. It's because it's about him. It's about him. Yeah, they can detain you without arresting you. Yes. Yes. But that's why you have to specifically ask, Anne, am I being detained? If the answer to that question is no, and I'm not under arrest, deuces, I'm out. They cannot, if they're not officially detaining you and they're not arresting you and they specifically say that, then go. Leave. Okay? So what, they haven't put their exhibits out there, and I imagine because of the wording in there, those exhibits will not become public until after the trial is over. So I'm interested. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments after. If you're here on the replay, hello. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. That literally helps me more than you guys know. My PayPal, Venmo, Cash App is in the QR code, but it's also, in the little thingy bobber. These are all, if you guys want to help, you don't have to. It's not the end of the, it's a suggestion. It's not a command because I don't run a cult here. But this is my job, guys. So I try my best and I make content and that's all I can do. But yeah, what we really need to do right now, guys, is focus on the important conversations that happen in the spaces where the decision makers live. Okay. We're going to go over some stuff that's been going on with Audit LA that I find fascinating, and figure that out because, yeah, if you're being interrogated, leave if you're free to go. Yes. If you say, am I free to go? And they're trying to ask you a bunch of fucking questions and they'll try to not say it. Just keep repeating your question until they give you a yes or no answer. Okay. If they're like, well, we'd like to ask you a few more questions, just repeat your question. Am I free to go? And keep repeating that until you get a yes or no. Because they will eventually, if they are not arresting you, they have to say yes legally. Okay. Can you ask me a favor? Can you see me in the Giants? Yes. Can you hold on one moment while I have to just go down a level to get the hat? It's literally downstairs. 1 second. I will get the hat on just for you, Mad Drop Bear. 1 second. 1 second. I'm going to go get the hat. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. All right. Only for you. Oh God, I'm running around fat. Here we go. All right, let me get my ears back in, guys, so I make sure I sound okay. I sound velvety for you guys. Let's get on here. Here we go. All right. Here is the hat. Now this is for the Sydney. Wait, hang on a second. I want to say it correctly. It is for the Greater Western Sydney Giants. Okay. The Greater Western Sydney Giants. This is an Australian rules football team that I am now a supporter of. Here we go. Look at that. Official. And they even have the same colors as my Giants. How does this get better than this? The next time I go to a San Francisco Giants game, I'm going to wear this hat just so people will ask me about it. And then I can tell them about Aussie rules football, which is one of the greatest sports of all time. One of the greatest sports of all time. I love it. I love it. I love this hat. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now guys, this hat took a journey from Australia to me here in Beaverton, Oregon. And it was a wild journey because it was sent through like the Aussie Post, and then Aussie Post handed it off to the USPS, and they were like, we'll do it someday. Someday we'll get to it. Our postal system here, guys, is so fucked up. I cannot even tell you. I cannot even explain to you. Thank you so much for this hat. I fucking love it. Oh my God, Tampa B Man, thank you for this generous super chat. Thank you. Guys, there's going to be more content put onto this Rumble channel. Please watch it. It's there. But it's important for you guys to be able to see the words and the actions. Yeah, that's what happened, Mad Dropper. It didn't go. I thought it went to like FedEx or to, UPS. Nope, it went to our postal service, and they really take their time. They really, oh my goodness. I put on a hat and now it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Guys, I got a haircut. I'm growing this top out like longer, but I'm going to keep this part around my ears. And then it's like a little long in the back. I'm figuring it out. It's kind of mullety. I kind of am digging it a little bit. But this is going to get longer. I just want it. Yeah. We'll work with it. We'll see what happens here. It's growing back nice and thick right now from the shaved head incident. No, they didn't sign for it. No. That was the postal service. That was my local postal service office signing for it. That's what it was. So no, that was suspicious, but everything ended up good. It ended up at my box. The wall behind me looks good. Thank you. I painted that. It looks so much better now that it's not like the, whatever color that was. And then I have to get the tiles up. I didn't have time today because I went to Costco. So there you go. Yeah, guys, we have to focus on the legality of this, and we're going to be covering some other stuff. Thank you, Tampa B Man. Yes, the haircut is it's working. It's working. I like it. I'm feeling fresh and clean, but also I don't like things touching my big, huge grandpa ears, guys. I don't like when my hair touches that. So there you go. Yeah, your mind will be blown. If you guys have never seen Aussie rules football, I'm just telling you right now, it's like rugby and American football had a baby, and the baby is amazing, right? Like just Google it, watch it on the YouTube, watch it everywhere. It's amazing. It's amazing. All right, guys. My voice is going. It's dinner time, all those things. It's Sunday. We'll be back tomorrow with some more Amazing, amazing content. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you to all the subscribers. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you to my members who keep this channel alive. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you to my amazing mods who keep everything running here. They are the best, my lady mods. I love you. And as always, my friends, I will see you all on the flippity dippity.